Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. It's been a little while. Hello, hello. I'm trying to get everything fired up here. We are live. I'm going to post a message in Discord in a second. So thank you all for hanging out with us. All of you who are here right away. Hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome to class. That's what I should find. Let's see. Wow, YouTube is failing at finding what I'm looking for. Holy frijoles, the algorithm is dropping the ball. There we go. Turn that down a little bit. Hi, everybody. Welcome to class. That'll be too distracting to listen to. All right, let's notify everybody on Discord. Everyone, we are live. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Headphones messed up here. Cool. So we're just giving everybody a minute or two to jump in to join us. We've made the notification on Discord. All the notifications are live everywhere else. Got a couple of viewers here today, but today is MetaTailor 101, the basics of MetaTailor. Just one more minute, we'll jump right into it. Awesome. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into it then. Hi, everybody. Welcome to MetaTailor. Welcome to our MetaTailor stream. This and the next couple of streams, we are focusing on back to school. As we said in our promo video, we have a whole bunch of new users. Tons of people joined us from our SIGGRAPH conferences and all this stuff over the summer. So we wanted to jump right back into it and welcome you new users and walk you through how to use MetaTailor. Starting with today, we're looking at the basics. We're going to open up the program, we're going to look at the models, we're going to show you the library, we're going to talk about all those features inside MetaTailor, what they mean, and how to best use them. Then, if we have time, I've got two really simple outfits we're going to import, but that is not the focus of today's stream. Next week is importing clothing from anywhere on the web. The week after that, we're importing avatars. Same idea, avatars from anywhere on the web. The hiccup with that is they need to be rigged. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to quick and easily rig a character to bring that into MetaTailor. So that's our first 3 weeks. After that, we're taking a look at our two amazing plugins. We've got an Unreal plugin and a Character Creator 4 plugin we're going to be taking a look at as well. So that is kind of our curriculum, our syllabus, if you will, as we go into this back to school themed streaming setup. So today, basics of MetaTailor. Let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to jump over to my desktop and show you how to open up MetaTailor, where it starts with. So you open up the app, you go to our website, you download it, you can try it for free, you can use it for free for as long as you want, but to get a lot of the features that I have today, you're going to want to sign up for Pro. So let's go ahead and take a look at my desktop. All right, so let's go ahead and start by hitting, you can hit check for updates. Let's go ahead and hit play. This is your very first window if you're joining. Of course, it's probably because I've had it open for a couple hours now, ready to go. Let's double click on it, initializing. Truly see how it works. Come on, I literally was in it and tested it 5 seconds ago. So, while that does its thing, there it goes. Play, and there you are. Once you can actually get into it, once it runs, you can see you have your MetaTailor open. This is where all the magic happens. This is the program. Over here on the left, you've got the option for creating a new project or importing a project, and you've got all of your main keys right here: home, community, learn, help, my account, plugins. That's the new one right there. That's how you can navigate through all of those. A big one I want to kind of point out is community. You're all here on our YouTube Live. You're watching us on YouTube. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe to these videos so you can see more of these videos and when we post them. But on top of that, join our amazing Discord community. We've got an amazing support team on Discord. They're up all hours of the night. It's just a whole bunch of us who are working in there. We'll see a question. We'll answer it as soon as we can. But not only that are we pros at MetaTailor, we're also pros at Maya and other programs, Unreal Engine, Unity, and stuff like that. And it's not just us, the MetaTailor team. Our users are experts as well, and people get their questions answered all the time. So please join us on our Discord community, not only if it's just for the support, but also for these stream announcements. Follow us on Discord to see all these stream announcements. And sometimes we host secret streams on Discords for new content and stuff that we want to show and showcase. So that's under the community tab. I also linked the Discord link in the YouTube chat. All right, so this is our homepage. We've got all of these projects in here. These are all the projects that we have done in live streams and in all of our videos. So if you want to see how any of these are made, feel free to go back into our video library. Pretty much every single one of these was made on live or in a special video. If there's one in particular that you love, that you'd like to see, just message me. I've got all of these. I can show you the video or give you the file or give you the outfit. So all of these are available too. So these are all your past works. Pro user has an unlimited amount. A free user is, I want to say, well, let's pull it up. Let's take a look at the differences. I want to say it's a limited number, but I don't want to give you the wrong number off the top of my head. Plans and pricing, zip on down. So free version can store 3 slots. So you get the first 3 and the rest are unlimited. So let's take a look at this. Let's talk about our pro version versus our free version. So our free version, you get a lot of stuff. You get the smart layers, which we're gonna take a look at today. Absolutely love our smart layers. You've got the auto fit, the cross avatar interoperability, full interactivity, and auto skin weighting. Really the core of this program. Some of the big features of this program are all yours for free. Anybody can try those and mess with those right now for free. On top of that, you get 3 slots of just saved work. You can get unlimited imports. So you can bring in as much stuff as you want, completely unlimited to try it on characters. But you're limited to 5 exports per month, which is enough for some people, but for me, I export a lot of stuff. If I make a mistake, which I make a lot of mistakes, that counts towards one of my exports, so you have to be careful with that. But we do give you 5 exports per month of any of those outfits that you import, and that's just the free version. Over at our pro version, you get all of those options. Not only that, do you get accessories, you get gloves and other new feature updates. You get priority support. You already seen on our Discord channel, we've got great support, but you get priority support. The advanced mesh tools. If anything, I mean, all of these are amazing. Gloves are amazing. Everything that we're gonna see today, absolutely amazing. But the biggest thing that makes Pro worth it, in my opinion, is the advanced mesh tools. That is how you're gonna fine tune your outfits. That is how you're gonna get these outfits to fit and manipulate that, because 3D models you pull off the web or 3D models you create yourself, not for these avatars, they need some tweaking. They're not great. We're gonna see it today with the fab models and sketch fab models that I pulled. Having those mesh tools is a lifesaver. So that alone makes Pro worth it. But on top of that, you also get the unlimited slots for your outfits, unlimited imports, and unlimited exports. So you can keep just exporting all day and night. So that is what I recommend for your Pro version. You can see there's a 20% off for a year street seat right here, $336 per year, or that's $35 a month. So then of course, if you're a studio, contact us. That is our differences between our free and our pro. I'm using a pro secret dev version, so you'll see all my features is most of the stuff you'll have access to. There might be some stuff that I have that you don't, but that's okay. So we're on our main page. We talked about all this. We know what we're looking at here. Let's start with a brand new project. So I'm going to go over to the left over here, and I'm just going to click on New Project. It's going to ask us to name it, so let's call it MT101. And it opens up like this. I'm going to move my big old head out of the way. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit, so I'm not too in the way. But here is our base MetaTailor avatar. This is kind of our canvas. This is where we'll be working and creating our outfits. So over here on the left, we still have those keys. We got our home, our design, import, export, physics, and our preview mode. We can preview some physics today, and our marketplace. Our marketplace is amazing. I've been babbling a lot, so we're gonna actually play in it before we go ahead and look at the marketplace, but I promise we're gonna take a look at that marketplace in a little bit. Over here on the left, this is where you can save it, rename it. You've got your layers. We have to add some outfits to our layers. And down here on the left, we have some options for our layer window. Here's our character. You can navigate with the same tools you would with any 3D program. So this is right click to kind of tumble and spin around, scroll wheel to zoom in and out, alt middle drag to pan. So those are all your typical options you'll see in almost any other 3D software. Over here on our right is what we call our content browser. This is content we've already downloaded. This is content that you might have purchased or downloaded or gotten for free. A MetaTailor Pro user gets access to the MetaTailor library in its entirety for the price of your subscription. So you get access to anything with this little MT logo. And once we jump into our marketplace, you're gonna see a massive amount. My chat's being weird. I just wanna make sure I can see everything. MetaTailor is the best. Skin weighting is a nightmare without it. Absolutely, it's true. They answer questions and support rapidly. 100% mesh tools are required. Thank you, Logan. Hype man Logan. I appreciate it. Awesome. I'm going to keep bopping over to the chat here. So if you have any questions, if there's anything you'd like to see, feel free to take over the stream. Feel free to jump in and ask your questions. I'll pause what I'm doing and show you what you're looking for. If I don't know the answer to it right away, we've got other MetaTailor team members here that'll help me walk me through it, because some of you come up with some really tough questions. But I am here to walk you through, like I said, the basics. So we got our character, we've tumbled around, we've got our content browser. Let's throw some clothing on here. I'm gonna go ahead and click on, I like our assemblies and groups. So you can see I've got all clothing accessories. I'm gonna click on assemblies and groups. The reson why I like this is because these are entire pre-made outfits that are individual pieces that you can then alternate or add to or subtract from. But you can start with all of these little options right here. So I'm gonna scroll down. One of my favorite is Taekwondo, but I'm gonna start with our, Star-Lord was a fun one. I'm gonna start with our firefighter. It's got a lot of pieces. So all you saw me do is I just clicked apply right there on the firefighter, and MetaTailor starts going through its steps. It starts adding all those pieces. It's thinking, it's moving, it's tailoring. And once that's done, you'll already see over here on our layer editor, it's putting all of those pieces in there for us. There we go, it's all done. So we can see this piece right here, our awesome firefighter. Really cool piece. So let's talk about what hooked me to MetaTailor the very first time I opened it. This was over a year ago now. I was first looking at MetaTailor. I was exploring MetaTailor, discovering it, and the thing that blew me away as a 3D artist, because outside of MetaTailor, I am a 3D artist. I work in Maya. I'm a rigger, all that other stuff. I do actual skin weighting. MetaTailor blew my mind for the most simple thing that it does, or at least it makes it look simple. Because all of these dumb meshes from Maya, Fab, Sketchfab, it has turned them into smart meshes. And what that means is if I come over here to my dynamic layers and move these items around, it's going to move what's on top and skin it properly to match the item. So for example, let's take our coat right here. If I wanted to, I could take this coat all the way up to the top. It's gonna break the coat a little bit because there's this backpack here, but you'll notice right off the bat, it untucks the jacket and it tucks that backpack as best as it can under the coat. Because that's not a natural way for that to work, we can see there's some breaking the mesh, but I can then take that backpack and drag that up and watch as those straps come back out, as it tailors that, and it tucks that coat under those straps. It manipulates that. If I wanted to, I could take that backpack out and just have the coat. It retailors it, it reskins it, it works it. Let's take those pants again, put those pants on top of that coat, tuck that coat in for safety reasons. Don't need smoke, debris, fire getting into our suit. There we go, that coat is tucked underneath that belt. That in and of itself, and we can see it on other pieces as well. Let's clear the firefighter out. Let's go ahead and add another piece of clothing here. Do we have a suit in here? We have an FBI agent pack. That'll work well. Let's grab the FBI agent pack, and we'll see this work with a more traditional suit, more traditional outfit. This simple idea of being able to tuck in and untuck a shirt just by moving layers is what hooked me to this. I'm like, wow, the amount of math and science that went behind this to create this algorithm to say, you know what? I don't want a vest. I'm going to turn the vest off. Shirt comes out. You know what? I want my shirt untucked from my slacks. I want him to feel a little bit more casual. And the ability to just click and drag and get this smart mesh to manipulate in that way is amazing. And it's for anything. You can see right now the shoes are on top, so the pants are technically tucked into these shoes right here, like a little Poindexter. Let's take those shoes, drop those beneath those pants. That shirt is still untucked, and now those are sitting on top of the loafers in a little bit more natural way. Shirt still untucked, still feels a little casual. If I wanted to, I could tuck that back in, dip those into the pants right there, bring our vest back, turn that on, and bam, we're back to our typical FBI agent. Let's say I wanted to add a tie to this. Let's go to all, and I'm just typing the word tie. I'm sure I've created a tie here. I've got the Sky Commander tie, I've got the Cyberpunk tie. There's a couple of things you want to kind of watch out for with these ties. This neck piece, we can't get that neck piece under the collar. So to do that, you would create two separate pieces, or you would use like this Pokemon tie right here, and you'd only use the actual neck of the tie right there. And you create the other piece right there or something along those lines. So there, you can bring a tie in. I can take that tie into this group and have that tie go under the vest. I can take that tie and I can move it up and down and get that into place. Hit confirm. And there we go. Now we've added a tie to this outfit. This tie is for the Pokemon trainer Blaine. We created it in the live stream. Or I think that was an actual video. And I just added that to our FBI character right here to kind of give him a little fun, a little bit of whimsy. So that's our dynamic layers. And that's our content browser. Our content browser has so much stuff in it. I can go to all, like I said, you saw I just typed in the word tie and it pulled up all my ties, but I can also go to clothing and narrow it down by categories. Let's say I wanted to add on top of all this something on his head. I'll click head and you can see we've got goggles, we've got beards, we've got hats, we've got cyber kimono masks, we've got cop glasses. Ooh, let's add some cop glasses. Some of these things are things that I imported from Fab and Sketchfab, so they don't have thumbnails because they're a little strange. But there you go, some really typical aviators. Give them some shooting instructor headphones. Or I don't know what they're called off the top of my head. my brain's going noise canceling headphones, but no, they're ear protection. It's tailoring it, it's adding it. Some of these higher poly pieces maybe take some time. But there you go. Now it feels like it's an FBI agent on the shooting range. And so with this, you can start to tell your story. You can start to create characters and create outfits. But let's say we didn't like all this. I could turn the whole thing off and I could create another group. I could say, you know what? No, I want my cop stuff. Let's pull up my cop or my police. Sort by date added ascending. Because I add that cop in a live stream. Oh, that's our why does that look showing my only avatars? Here we go. Oh, because I have everything. Business suit. We did a whole police officer on stream. Where did you go? This is going in the wrong order. So sort by date added descending. There we go. It's not showing. There's the SWAT suit we ran with. I don't know where my cop went. I've got some of the pieces, but not all the pieces. Like I said, if you wanted to get rid of the whole FBI agent pack, and let's make a tracer from Overwatch. We imported tracer at one point. So apply tracer jacket, get the tracer shoes. And look how simple it is for me to just switch this over to something completely different. We went from a realistic FBI agent to tracer from Overwatch in a series of clicks. And I could always add more. There's more tracer stuff in here. There's the tracer bracers. And if you want to learn how to import all this stuff, like you see me doing right here, that's going to be next week's stream. So join us next week if you want to learn how do I get my own Tracer outfit? How do I get my own Vegeta outfit, my own Star-Lord, my Wolverines, my Firefighters? That's going to be next week. We're going to take a look at importing different objects, making sure they're ready in something like Maya or anything like that. So you can see I've just instantly changed the outfit from a realistic FBI to Tracer's outfit from Overwatch. Now this is just clothing. This is just clothing and accessories we've been messing with so far. You might be saying to yourself, Mark, this is really cool. It is a male figure on Tracer, and Tracer is notably not male. So how do we change that? Well, MetaTailor doesn't just stop at clothing. MetaTailor also lets you import avatars. Your custom avatars, avatars from the web, avatars from MetaHuman, wherever you want. We can bring in any avatar, and I guarantee you we can bring in any avatar. There might be a couple extra steps for some super complex ones, but we can bring in any avatar. So we've got this male figure right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of my avatars I've had in the past. And let's go ahead and grab Peyton. Peyton, transfer. Peyton is a metahuman. It is a female metahuman, and we've just hit transfer. Notice it went from a T pose to an A pose. Notice it shrunk in size because she's a smaller figure. The only thing I might have to fix in here is scaling this down a little bit to kind of match her more slight frame. Like that, and hit confirm, and let it retailor, let it rethink, and push outside of her body. And with just a click and a tiny adjustment, I've now moved my whole outfit from an adult, tall male character to a shorter female character. I went from MetaTailor's avatar to a MetaHuman avatar. Completely different avatars. But that's not all. It doesn't have to stop there. Let's say I wanted this Demogorgon from Stranger Things to have the MetaTailor outfit. Not the MetaTailor, the Overwatch outfit. It takes a second, but it goes over the Demogorgon. Now you'll notice there's a couple things here and there where the avatar is a little bit more pokier than the outfit can handle, specifically the double bent legs. It's having a hard time with those legs, so let's lose those shoes. And it's doing its best as can, but the rest of this is sticking pretty well. So now we have Demogorgon Tracer. That's the power of MetaTailor. Like I said, dynamic layering, the ability to switch stuff around. Not only that, but now I'm able to switch avatars. It's taken that idea of untucking and tucking a shirt to an entirely different level. It has brought it into this idea of switching avatars, switching body shapes, switching creatures all together, and the outfit still works. That's that idea of dumb mesh versus a MetaTailor smart mesh. Dumb meshes are FBXs you pull from Fab, Sketchfab, DeviantArt, wherever you're grabbing it, and you're bringing it into MetaTailor. And MetaTailor makes those changes, makes those adjustments in the importing process, and turns them into these smart meshes that wrap around these characters. And then in the great words of the late Billy Mays, but that's not all. That's not all it's doing. Let's go back to a MetaHuman character or a character creator for a character. Let's just grab something that is a little bit more, and go back to Peyton. No, I don't want to go back to Peyton. Let's go to the cartoon. I don't know if she has what I want to look for. So before I get like too ambitious and show you the character creator for character, let's go back to Sally or Peyton. Once again, completely different character from MetaHuman. Because, like I said, that's not all. You've got your outfit on your character. You've got your custom outfit on your custom avatar. MetaTailor did all the hard, stinky work for you. Now, let's test it. Let's take a look. Let's take the hair. Let's just move that back a little bit. You can see I'm using the QWER tool, your typical move, rotate, scale. If you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, these are some of your basic tools and functions from other 3D creation software. The moving, the rotating, the scaling. Just to get these pieces a little bit more in line. So with the actual tracer, they have the scalp painted brown, so some of that transparency is less noticeable. But so we're seeing some of that. But now we got that in place. let's go ahead and take a look at, so we've got our content, we've got our character, we can click on our viewport settings up here. We've had our content browser, we've been playing in our content browser. I haven't touched on tools yet. We'll definitely jump into tools in a little bit and show you what some of those tools are. But let's go over to our viewport settings. Our viewport settings allow you to rotate the light, change the exposure, make it brighter or darker, change your field of view, which for right now it's gonna kind of move in our zoom up and down, but it also has all of these animations. Animations? What? Yes, so I can go ahead and click on any of these like punching bag. And look, Tracer's outfit is animated. You can see your character moving it. It's not this illusion of wrapping the mesh around the character. It's not just kind of conforming it and doing a wrap deformer around your character. It's actually skinning the pieces, so whatever you're doing, whatever you need your character to do, you can preview it in MetaTailor. You can preview these animations. These are animations pulled from Mixamo. These are animations you can get in any other program. You can find these animations and put them in Unreal Engine, Maya, wherever you're animating your character, but you can test it in MetaTailor right now and see how the outfit's moving. And these are some complex actions. So that's telling me that this is actually skin weighted. This isn't, like I said, just some blanket wrap deformer that's giving us the illusion of this being on the character. These characters are actually dressed. And as far as I know, there is no other program out there that does anything remotely close to this level, to this amount of ease, where I can just click on a button to see, hey, what does my character look like falling? They've just climbed up this pole. What do they look like falling through the air or crawling like a lizard? Let's say, what about giving an uppercut? How do I see all that? So that's in the viewport settings. You can pause the animation, you can scrub through it, you can find a really cool pose to save it as, take your screenshots. You can change the lighting. Cyberpunk, I liked warm there. That one looked really cool for this pose. You can take your screenshot, whoever you need to. You can see there is running, night spin and jump, and you just keep going through. There's pulled rope and all these other ones. Bind pose, bring it back to normal. Skin weight test, test your skin weights, and go through there. So we've looked at our dynamic layers. We've looked at our viewport settings. We've looked at our content browser and created this for us. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the tools. The tools that I've kind of been glossing over. Where's my bind pose? There's my bind pose. These tools right here. So these tools are available to our pro users. Everything I've shown you except for, I think, these animations. I think these are also hidden behind the paid user. Go away, cart. These, I believe, are also for paid users. The content browser, all that stuff, that's available to free users. Importing the dynamic layers, that's all available to free users. But the tools here, this is where we get into our paid users. This is, like I said, what I think the pro version is worth. This makes it all worth it. So in here, we've got a couple of things we can do. You might have noticed right off the bat when I had these bracers and I was setting up these bracers, there is a mirror function. These bracers were imported as one singular bracer. This is ideal for when you're importing, and I've got a whole bunch of videos talking about why that is. But with shoes, with bracers, with pauldrons, a lot of times it's a lot easier to bring in just one and mirror it over. So underneath your tools, that's how you can mirror stuff over to have it on both arms. Not only that, but we have a couple options in here. We've got the options for effect layering. So what effect layering is going to do, let's say I pull my pants up, so it's over those straps, and it does its tailoring, and you can see these pants are kind of sticking out a little weird because it's trying to reach over this. The effect layering is what allows the dynamic layers to work. So if I turn that off, it just brings this mesh back to its normal state. And now you can see that gap is all the way around, despite it being over the pants. If I bring it under the, or over the jacket, if I bring the jacket over it, the pants are effects layering, turn those off. You can see those pants still stick out. So basically just turns off the dynamic layering for that piece. That can be helpful if something's not working exactly the way you want it to. If you're getting into some noodly stuff, you can turn on and off that dynamic layering right there. After that, we've got thickness and yield. And I also like to show shrink wrap at the same time. That's what makes this kind of stick to your character. Let's go ahead and lose the jacket, the hair, the bracers, focus on these pants because these pants are an easy way to kind of show this. So let's start with our thickness. Thickness actually gives a volume to these pants. For some things like sleeves and some meshes, adding some volume will definitely help hide any parts of the skin popping out. But not like that, we can also take our shrink wrap and start to dial our shrink wrap up. That's what's going to turn these pants from more like these puffy fisherman pants into more of some skin tight leggings. So right now I just cranked those all the way up. That shrink wrap is all the way up, but our thickness is pretty thick. So let's bring our thickness down. And look at that, we can see it starts to hug the legs. So now our thickness is a little too low and our shrink wrap's a little too high. So we've got some options. We can either dial our shrink wrap down a little bit, or we can bring our thickness back up a little bit. But now you can see these leggings are skin tight. Down here at the cuffs, they're skin tight. So that's what you can do using thickness and shrink wrap. Yield is, you can see that in collars a lot, how much it actually is affected by some of the movement, by some of that. So yield is something you can drag back and forth. If I find something that I notice would have good yield, I'll show that to you. But otherwise, those are some of those tools up here. Next, you've got your grab, shrink wrap, push, pull, smooth. Let's find something that might break our model. Let's find some clothing that is not the best. This frag outfit, I like it a lot, but I do know that some of this stuff I can adjust and move. Frag, go back to our content browser, add the frag shirt, and then the frag belt. And the frag goggles. And the frag shoes. So you've got all this stuff in here, you've got all of this stuff hanging down, but let's say maybe some of this stuff isn't working the way you want it to. It isn't moving the way you want it to. This is where we can start to come in and manipulate stuff and move stuff. Let's say we don't like this hose right here. This is where we can kind of come into our push-pull, and it gives us two options. Do you want to sculpt the original mesh? Do you want to sculpt the layered? I'm going to sculpt layered for now. I'll click on that. It lets me see everything. Oh, I'm clicking on, what am I clicking on? Let's hit cancel. I need to have something selected. Select the actual top right here. And let's go ahead and hit that push-pull. Sculpt layered. So you can see I can now choose to push and pull. Let's say this hose is acting a little weird. It's pulling that, it's doing that. I think grab was more the idea I was looking for. There we go, grab. That's more what I was thinking. And you can move and manipulate this hose. And you can move pieces. This helps with jackets under the arms and stuff like that. Let's say I wanted this buckle a little higher. You can change the radius that you're working with. You can change it to, like I said, push, pull. Push, pull allows you to kind of pull pieces out, or by holding down shift, pushing them back in. Kind of inflating small areas right there. Smooth kind of smooths out some of that. You relax. Your visibility brush is a really cool one. Can you explain when to use original versus layered? I like to use layered a lot of the times because it kind of keeps it in the same spot. If I go ahead and hit reset and cancel, and of course it kind of saves it off in a different variance, but what I would do, let's say I wanted to grab and hit sculpt original, you'll notice it goes off the original shape. It doesn't have some of those motions in there, so you're kind of working off the original shape right here. So I can still grab and pull that out and try to get that out of the body, but it's not taking some of that past tailoring that it already has. So you can see I just move that, hit confirm, it kind of brings that out. But if I was to undo that, click on this. Oh, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back in. Let's re-import it now. That was the shirt. Apply the shirt, so that was because I was sculpting on that one. Click on this, hit push pull again, and this time I'll hit sculpt layered. You can see the band there, the back there. It has that tweaking already in there. So I'm basing it off of what it looks like on the model right now. So that's kind of the difference between those two. And it's personal preference. What are you trying to accomplish? What is in your way? What are you trying to pull? What are you trying to see? So depending on the piece, you'll just jump between those two. You can always just like you saw me, I just deleted and re-imported the piece, and it's fine. But I was gonna say the visibility brush. Let's go back to our avatars here for a moment. And let's go ahead and add the Demogorgon back in, because I know he's got body parts and spines that stick out. So you can see here, we've got a couple options with our visibility brush. With our visibility brush, we can either take away visibility on the piece itself, or I could take away visibility on my avatar. Let's say his feet here, I like where his feet are, but I don't like that they're sticking out here. This is when I can take something like our visibility brush, and I can carve away some of his feet. Now this is only in MetaTailor. This is not something that will export out. It won't export out this visibility. This is just for MetaTailors playing with it, seeing how it works in this outfit. So you can see I'm hiding his feet. I'm taking his feet, his legs, everything that was kind of sticking out of those pants, and I'm making it disappear. Do the same to the other side. Spin around, get those toes. Underneath here, there we go. So I've made all of that invisible. Now I'll go ahead and hit confirm. And there you go. And I can take this boot, I can hit mirror. And now those legs aren't sticking out the back. The pants are still a little bit bigger in the back. It's still trying to compensate for those as best it can, but the back is not piercing through the pants. And I can go into my viewport settings and we can see it running. So that's another one of those amazing tools that we have. Let's go to our character creator for Toon Woman. Some more cartoony character. Brought this over, let's see any other tools. So that's our grab, that's our shrink wrap. When you're placing an item, when you're first trying to get an item into place, an amazing tool can be the grid right here, the lattice. I can set a 2x2 lattice. This lets me move it in a more broad way. So if you're trying to get this to wrap around some strange hair, or if you're trying to get this to hug a person a little bit better and match their head a little bit better, sometimes pulling out this lattice and even getting more detailed lattices is a great way to accomplish this. I feel like the lattice is a lesser used tool. I think it's a really powerful tool that if you're really trying to get a really custom look or trying to manipulate something around something more complex, the lattice is a great way to accomplish that. And then we've got our transforms nodes, so that's our move, rotate, scale. That's what I've been doing just to kind of get stuff in place. After that, we have our pose matching and our materials. This comes more into play when you're importing the item, which we'll see in just a moment, or importing the avatar. So those are some things that in the next two streams, you'll see us dive a lot more into that to see how that looks. But that's kind of hidden underneath your tools as well. This is available to everybody. The redo pose matching, the texture maps, that's part of the importing process. It's just under the tools thing. The big thing that you really don't have as a pro user are all these mesh tools, or as a free user is all these mesh tools. These are some of the big things that are really available to our pro users that the free users, you gotta go get. You gotta sign in and grab those. In our past live streams, in our videos on there, I have used these tools pretty extensively. So if you're really interested in these tools, go through those live streams. Or once again, reach out over Discord. Reach out to me. I am Mark on the Discord. You can find me on there. Send me a private message at me in one of the chats and I will see it. Say, hey, Mark, can you show me how to do shrink wrap? Sometimes I'll just do a quick video and send it to you in the Discord. So if there's something in here outside of this stream, you can either ask it right now in the chat or outside of this stream that you have questions on, feel free to reach out to me and I'm happy to kind of show you that or direct you to a video that might be looking at that in depth. So that's what we have in our tools window, our viewport, our content browser. We've played a lot in the base of MetaTailor here. Let's take a look at our marketplace. Now the marketplace is available to everyone. The libraries themselves kind of are differentiating between what you have and what MetaTailor has depending on how much you pay. So the marketplace is kind of where money gets involved in the most part. So by clicking on marketplace, it opens up the MetaTailor marketplace. I'm not going to click on avatars, but you can find avatars in here as well. Your avatars, other avatars, they will show up in here as well. The reason why I can't click on this right now is because it's got some naked people, and YouTube really doesn't like seeing metahumans or anything like that. So I don't want this to get censored or banned or anything like that. So I won't be clicking on that, but you can see there's a whole bunch of outfits in here. And these outfits that you see in here are pretty much available to all pro users for free. There's a couple of odds and ends here and there that are not. We're going to talk about those, but pretty much everything in here is available to our pro users. Parametric clothing for metahumans. Holy cow, Cody. I'm going to write that down. I don't think we're going to get to that in this stream, but I'm making a note right now. I am sending it to myself. Parametric clothing for metahumans. All right, so I got to know. We're going to see if we can't get that. Maybe I'll sneak it into one of these other streams or something like that if we have time. But that is a great thing, Cody. Let's see what we can do for you. But I made a note. So, but let's go and talk about this marketplace. So you can see we've got clothes in here. Like I was saying, this is available to our pro users. How can you tell what you need to pay for and what's available for pro users? Well, that's going to be under this artists option. Artists, what does that mean? Well, you can see right here, we've got our Creative Commons assets. That's available to everybody for free. You've got your Javi or Javi 3D MA. You've got your Neural AI. You've got your Sadie. Sadie has been one of our artists since the beginning. Sadie has been here since day one. You see, we've got some other names in here. But all of these are, besides Creative Commons right here, these are users like you creating content and selling it on the marketplace. MetaTailor is not selling this. This is you, the creator, selling this. So you too can become a seller. Down here in the bottom left, you can apply to become a seller and put your content like Sadie has put up on here in the marketplace. So all of this stuff in here is stuff that you, even as a pro user, would have to pay for. Because Sadie made it, and Sadie deserves credit for their amazing work. So you can see all of this stuff that Sadie has created right here, and all of this I can download and apply, but you would see something different. This is one of those moments where my dev version looks a little bit different than you as a pro user version. Something super interesting that MetaTailor does that no other program, Character Creator 4 doesn't do this, Fab doesn't do this, all these places where you can buy assets, there is something that MetaTailor does that they don't do. MetaTailor gives you the option to try it on your avatar first. So for all of these, you will see a big yellow button that says try on. So if I had my avatar, if I brought in my Tickle Me Elmo avatar and I wanted to put Tickle Me Elmo in the Ironclad Sentinel leggings, I could try it on my avatar. Doesn't matter what avatar, any avatar. I can try on one of Sadie's collections, see if I like the look of the gym top or the Akuna top or the MAA underwear, and see if I like it on my avatar before purchasing it. And I can do all of the functions. I can mess with the tools, I can play with the animations, I can see Sadie's work in all of those aspects on my avatar before I go to purchase it. Where it stops you is where you go to export it. That's when you have to pay Sadie the amount that they're asking for each piece. So that is something really cool that you as a user can create clothing wherever you want. You don't have to create it in MetaTailor. You can create it in ZBrush, Maya, Marvelous Designer, something like that. Bring it into MetaTailor and sell it, as long as you become a seller. So that's something really cool that MetaTailor offers, and you as a pro or even a free user can try it on your avatar and say, is this something that I like? Will this work for my avatar? One of my biggest complaints with CC4, I love their program, amazing. Our plugin is fantastic, but you have to buy the clothes before you can use the clothes. And for some of us starving artists, that's expensive. That's a big commitment for something that might not work. Same goes for Fab. Fab is even more wild. Sometimes you have to buy it, download it in Unreal, find out how to pull it out of Unreal, bring it into MetaTailor, put it on your avatar just to find out, you know what? This doesn't work. That's a lot of the pre-work that I do before these streams is finding outfits, finding stuff across all of these websites just to open it up and realize that the mesh is absolute garbage and we can't use it. Imagine having to pay $50 to find out the mesh that you thought would be good was awful. MetaTailor takes that away. MetaTailor skips that step, lets you try it on, lets you preview the mesh, take a look at it, make sure you like it, and then you can buy it and export it and use it in whatever project you need. So that's a really unique thing to MetaTailor. There's other ways to see artists. I can close out of there. You can click on their little icon right here. So I can click right here. This is Neural AI. So this is all clothing made, I'm assuming, with AI. Yep, I know this parrot specifically is an AI parrot. This is all stuff made with AI. If that is something that interests you, you can close out of that. You don't have to look at that. We can also look at, I'm trying to find one in particular. There we go, the MT logo. The MT logo is MetaTailor's library. Oops, scroll down. There was that naughty thing I was talking about. So the MetaTailor library, all of this that you see, let's start at the top up here. We got snowboarders. We have zombie ghillie suits. We have cyberpunk tech wizards. We have zombie cowboys. We have smart casual cardigans. We have casual sportswear, rock climbing harness, hip hop streetwear, blacksmith pack, construction workers, wasteland scavengers, cyberpunk rebels. That looks very uncomfortable. You've got your mailman caps, skydiver suits, military police, referees, train conductors, firefighters, cyber samurai, all of these things and more. I'm scrolling and it's still going. All of these things in the MetaTailor library are instantly available for our pro users. So another reason to look into that monthly subscription or the discounted annual subscription. You get access to all of these to dress your characters, to dress your metahumans, to dress anything that you need across Unreal, Unity, wherever you want to take it, because it exports them out as an FBX. All of these things that you see in here, it exports out for whatever program you want to take it to. MetaTailor is that secret thing that you didn't know you needed until right now. To take that dumb mesh, turn it into smart mesh, and take it to your finished product. Go finish it in whatever movie, video game, whatever you're making. This is the secret tool that you absolutely need to finish that project. So this huge library here is available instantly to our MetaTailor Pro users. And it's not just clothes. You can take a look at full outfits. Like I said, you can look at avatars. You can look at accessories. Accessories are your daggers, your hammers, your axes, your dumbbells, your scrap storm cannons, your bloody nurse ID props. These are all the MetaTailor ones, MetaTailor Neural AI. Accessories, these are all of these. Now, like I said, the marketplace, the artists, these are things that you have to pay for. The marketplace you pay for through your pro subscription. The artists, you pay them the well-deserved monies that they deserve for creating a beautiful, amazing art. But you don't have to pay. You can always find your own, by clicking on design, outfits like I did with this frag outfit, like the Tracer outfit, like my Wolverine outfit. You could always find your own stuff online and bring it in. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and change our avatar. We'll change it over to Big Gov. Now these last two I've been using have been Character Creator 4 avatars. These are avatars that we brought out of Character Creator 4, and all of the outfits that we're playing with in MetaTailor, including the ones from artists and MetaTailor's library or stuff you import from the web with our amazing Character Creator 4 plugin, you can move it back and forth seamlessly. You can take all of this clothing and put it into Character Creator 4, and vice versa. You can take all the stuff that you have paid for in Character Creator 4 and send it over to MetaTailor. So I've got Big Give from Character Creator 4. Let's go ahead and get a couple outfit pieces on them. But to start with, let's go ahead and import something. Now, earlier today, I was on Sketchfab, and I found a really cool military jacket. So let's go ahead and import this jacket together so I can show you if you find something on the web, Fab, Sketchfab, DeviantArt, Mixamo, any of these places that have 3D assets you can purchase or find for free, you can bring it into MetaTailor. You are not limited to the marketplace. The marketplace is just extra awesome things. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this import button right here and click on cloth and accessories. You can see you can do FBXs, OBJs, MTAs, GLTFs, GLBs, all of those things are available to you. But I am going to go to my desktop where I have my army jacket. I'm going to click on my source and I've got an FBX. Now, to be fully transparent, I did open this FBX in Maya. I did make a couple tweaks because it was scaled to 100%, it was rotated upside down, and it was not sitting at the center of the grid. So those are 3 things that I fixed in Maya and resaved it out as an FBX before getting it ready to bring it into MetaTailor. However, this is my first time bringing it into MetaTailor. I have not tested this, so we're going to try it and troubleshoot it ourselves. So let's go ahead and hit open and bring in this jacket. All right, right, so here it is. Here is this army jacket. This is low poly mesh. You can see right here where it's kind of a little bit messy, but that's okay. It's got no texture, so when you're importing something, it brings it in its base state. If you apply textures in something like Maya, it will try to keep those connections, which is a really cool thing that MetaTailor does for you. So you can see if we wanted to, we can name it whatever we want. Its army jacket is one word. I'm gonna just hit a little space there and turn that into 2 words. If it has multiple meshes, you can select which meshes you want to import and which ones you don't. So if it's like, say, one of the big things that I did was a big SWAT helmet with goggles and like a speaker and like an antenna. If I don't want the speaker and antenna to show up, I can just uncheck it under this meshes option. Then you can change your hue, saturation, value, smoothness, all of that stuff. We're going to get more into that into our import stream next week. Color. I'm going to go back to my source. I've got textures right here. And you can see we've got diffuse, reflection, specularity, and some sort of weird ground texture that I don't need, but I'm gonna go ahead and click on my diffuse texture. And look at that. It has applied this wonderful texture for us. If you have normal maps work beautifully. I didn't realize this didn't have a normal map. That's okay. It didn't have ambient occlusion. It did have roughness. Let's go ahead and grab our roughness right here. Open. Look at that. Beautiful. And then the last one it had was specularity, which will be our metalness. Or, okay, dial that up a little bit, dial the metallic up a little bit. Wonder if it's for buttons. Yeah, you can see right here, these buttons end up looking a little bit shinier than the rest of the coast. That's what that's adding for us. So here's this really cool military jacket we can bring in and put on our character. Some things that I will warn you about when importing is these wrinkles right here. I did see this and I thought to myself, I'm gonna do it anyway. Kind of the wrinkles, all this stuff. This does import in with those wrinkles, and those wrinkles stay there. But I thought it would still look cool. So let's go ahead and hit next step with all of this done. So once I import it, it says, hey, we need to put it on an avatar. How are we gonna put this on an avatar? Well, we're gonna call it a jacket. Really cool. If it was a backpack, belt, hair, shirt, you'd change it. If you wanted to check your source dimensions, you can see the source dimensions. So you can see here it is, 1 by 1 by 1 on the center of the grid. That's a little too small, so I will let MetaTailor move this into place and scale it up how big it thinks it needs to be. And then I'll go ahead and hit next step right here. And now this is where we get it matching our character. And like I said, we're gonna do this maybe a whole 10 times, 15 times next stream. The whole stream is gonna be all about importing and some of the tips and tricks you can use to import this in. But overall, what you wanna try to do is aim to have this sit on the body. You don't need it to be perfect. 60% accuracy is about all you need. MetaTailor will do the rest. MetaTailor will tailor the rest for you. So you can see I'm kind of lining this up as best I can. I feel like I can fit that there a little bit better. There we go. One of the big things I use as an indicator, and I've said this 100 times if you've watched these streams with me, one of the big things I use as an indicator is the neck. The neck is an amazing way to kind of judge how big, where you need to place it, where to sit. This little collar right here is how to kind of line this up. All right, once you hit confirm, when you're done moving it, the next thing is you need to pose match. Pose match is what you can do to get this to match. You can see his arms are actually asymmetrical, so you can get it to match the arms and their asymmetry. But not only that, if your character is in a T-pose and the code is in an A-pose, this is how you can fix it. Or if the code is in a T-pose and your character is in an A-pose, this is how you can fix it, by moving around these arms and these placements in the avatar. So right now it's setting to mirror X. That's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and pull my hips in a little bit, pull it back a little bit so it sits there a little bit better. I'm going to kind of pull in my shoulders a little bit, and you can see that kind of brings our chest in, makes our chest more shallow. Now you can make some pretty drastic changes, and you don't need to worry. If you don't want the arms affecting the same way, you can make some big changes. And what it does is, like, if we go ahead and hit preview pose wrap, what it's going to do is it's going to try to move everything based on your strange positioning. It's calculating that wrap. And I'm not going to keep it this way. I just want to kind of show you that you can make some pretty drastic changes to the avatar and it won't break anything too horribly. In fact, there are sometimes I purposefully break the avatar to get it to work and skin weight properly, to kind of trick MetaTailor into skinning it the way I want it, especially for weird pieces. Might have done something silly by just trying to break it here. Let it keep calculating this wrap. Can I hit escape? I can't. See, I tried to show something. Breaking the arms like this, I did take it a little bit too far. But I do break the arms in this way, specifically when I'm trying to get skin weighting to stick to the arms. It helps a lot when the character's arms and their jacket are really close together. Sometimes pulling those arms outside of the mesh and stuff like that helps a lot. I just did a little bit too much. It doesn't know what to do. So, brief kill. Just running through this one more time. All right, this time I'll be serious. We'll get it into position. We'll scale it up a little bit. I won't try to do any fancy footwork or anything like that. All right, confirm, start pose match. So like I said, one of the first things I did is kind of bring this chest in, which makes that a little bit more shallow, bring our legs in a little bit, bring them back a little bit. And this is what's just determining our skin weighting. And you can keep bouncing back and forth. If you're like, okay, cool, it's still sticking out a little bit, I can come in and I can move this back forward a little bit, get rid of that. I'm not locked into pose match. I'm not locked into the movement. I can keep shifting and adjusting it how I need it. All right, so now let's go ahead and bring our elbows in. They are mirrored, so I'm gonna kind of focus on this one. Getting them close enough should be fine. And then once I'm close enough for both of them, I can build in that asymmetry that we see. I kind of want this hand right here, sticking out a little bit, right about there. And actually it feels like it's rolled up a little bit, so I might even give it a little bit more forearm. Like I said, we're going for about a 60% match. Does that feel right for the elbow? Maybe up a little bit higher. Sitting right about there. That feels good. That feels good. Let's bring our shoulders up. All right, so now I can turn off mirroring. And now I can get, because the jacket is asymmetrical, I can start to get this elbow into place. I can start to get this hand into place a little bit better. So it's down a little bit more. You can see I'm just kind of bouncing around. I'm tumbling. Trying to eyeball it into the best possible place. In my opinion, maybe bring this down a little bit. The closer the joints are to each other, the smaller that gets. That's helpful for thickness. The farther away, the bigger it gets. So if you want to go to gear 4, gear 3 Luffy right here, you can definitely do that. So you can get some really weird shapes in there. There we go. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I'll leave that part right there. All right, let's hit. We can hit preview pose wrap again. Oops, sorry, pose match, preview pose wrap. And what that'll do is it'll calculate the wrap properly this time. It's not going to find any weird things. It should just push the mesh into the right spot now and kind of show you how this jacket sits on the model. I don't have anything weird. Cross our fingers, it should work properly this time. It's supposed to go faster than this. Is this a new bug? Did I discover a new bug? Hopefully not. That's weird. I use calculating wrap all the time to kind of preview, like, because it says it previews the pose wrap. And I know that this mesh is not high poly. It is a very low poly mesh. The MetaTailor warns you if you grab something way too high poly. That is more what I would expect right now, this being like super high poly and causing this sort of issue. What the heck? What's going on? Let's see, is there anything I can bring down? Guess we got you playing in the background. Going through, trying to kill stuff that might be, I mean, no, I got the bare minimum up right now. Got the stream up. Got MetaTailor up. It's like, this is also something I see sometimes when I'm running Maya, MetaTailor, Unreal all at the same time. The fact that this wrap isn't working is strange. It's not a stream without a crash. It's not a stream without a bug. In true Mark fashion, something has to go wrong live. This is a very simple jacket. I don't know why it did that. All right, back in MetaTailor. Third time's the charm. Maybe it's because I'm trying to do a preview pose wrap on Bing Kev. That to me just kind of rung a bell. Not that, I mean, it should still work. It should 100% still work. It's just a rig. It's just a character. But maybe because I'm doing a CC4 character, I'm not going to hit preview pose wrap again. I'm going to bring this jacket in on our MetaTailor base character this time. But I might have discovered a bug with Character Creator 4 characters. And we'll address it. We'll take a look at it. Shoot, I hit the wrong button. That's my bad. Going too fast. Stream is normally supposed to stop at 10. I'm not stopping until we get this jacket in here. So feel free to keep hanging out with me. And once again, if you got any questions, end of the stream is usually when I say, hey, what do you want to see? What do you want to do with me? And I'll walk you through stuff. Not parametric clothing. That is beyond the scope of, like, hey, I've never seen X tool. How would you import Y? Stuff like that. I'll happily show you guys. All right. Attempt number 3. Bring those shoulders in, bring those shoulders up, bring those shoulders in, Bring those elbows over, bring those elbows down. Bring those elbows over. Excellent. Bring those wrists down, bring those wrists over. Bring those wrists up. Bring those wrists forward. Those elbows down a little bit more. Wrist down a little bit more. Just trying to get that in there. There we go. It's a little higher than I think I want. So bring that back, bring that up, bring that back this way, bring it over this way. You can use the free transform in the center, but I don't. Old traumas. Always move orthographically if you can. Unless you've got a snapping function. All right, now it feels like I don't have enough room there. There we go. That feels pretty good. Because like I said, it feels like this is bunched up a little bit. Because it is. Hips back. Hips in. Turn off X. I feel like I could take this hip out a little bit. Match it a little bit more this way. Like he's leaning a bit this way. Bring this elbow in a little bit. I feel like that is high enough. Bring this wrist back a little bit now. That's pretty good. Bring it in like this. This one feels a little less bunched up. But I want to keep it as maybe a little bit more symmetrical. And we're going for 60%. This is a little bit better than 60% because it's built a little bit better. All right, hit confirm. Hit next step. No more previewing. Now let's actually calculate this wrap and get it onto our character. And if this doesn't work, well, we panic. We end the stream and I download a whole bunch of other stuff and see if it's a bug that we need to super fix or if it's just an issue with this jacket. So it's such a low poly jacket. There's no reason why just calculating this wrap shouldn't just work. In fact, well, thanks. Let's show you the jacket in oh yeah. Which is also me double checking the jacket. It probably has Engons, but Engons have never stopped MetaTailor before. MetaTailor doesn't care about that. I've brought in some really grody meshes, and it works wonderfully. If you go back to the videos, the Adeptus Auroritas from Warhammer 40k, that was one of my favorite ones to make. It's got I found a really cool outfit on DeviantArt of an Adeptus Auroritas, and I brought that into MetaTailor and kind of showed how to import that. The only problem with that is it's like 5 million polys. But MetaTailor was able to handle it and bring it in there. That was a pretty cool one. There are some of our live streams where I pull up meshes that are maybe like 6 polys total. That's not true. It's more than that, but it's like not great. And it took a lot of work to kind of get them MetaTailor ready. This one, I just opened it and moved it. So it really should work just fine. See? I mean, that's not the lowest poly, but it's not high poly compared to other things for just a jacket. What are we looking at? We're looking at, it says 377,000 faces. Higher, but it should work just fine. Didn't give me any warnings. If the entire model was this size, even then MetaTailor should be able to handle that. So I might have found a bug. Yeah, they call it middle resolution. There's a low res version and a high res version they didn't give you for free from Sketchfab. Almost, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's either it's Marvelous Designer. I'm not 100,000% positive. You could probably go find it on the Sketchfab site. It doesn't have the nature of a 3D scan. There it goes. Slowly but surely. And here's the jacket from Sketchfab, the exact one. So you can see Army Jacket. I just looked at the Army Jacket on Sketchfab. It was the first hit. It is free under the Creative Commons license. Thank you, CS Sheffield. AK texture, high mesh. Oh, it is photo scanned. I didn't think it was. It didn't have some of the telltale signs of a photo scan. We have photo scan backpacks. We've got photo scan stuff in there. This is undivided to kind of get a lower poly version. But this is not a huge file. All right, but you can see it is, I'm still finishing it up, but it's importing it, it's tailoring it, it's getting it in there. You might have noticed as it brought those arms up, it brought the underside of the jacket. That's one of those moments where those arms are a little bit too close to the jacket. So it's pulling some of that skin weighting. That might be a reason to cheat the arms away or something along those lines to kind of get that to pull out properly. That is also something you can fix in the tools or with the tools with rebinding the poses. So once this finishes tailoring, this will be the only thing we import today. Next week's stream, we're super focusing on importing, but we'll kind of see how this works on our character, show you how it looks, and go from there. So for some reason, it doesn't love this jacket. I didn't think it was too high poly when I first popped it into Maya. All right, well, while this is thinking, for all of you still hanging out, watching with us, thank you so much for hanging out. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, join our Discord server, as you saw from our amazing Logan giving us amazing hype on our Discord server. Join our Discord server, ask your questions, join our support. We dropped the link in the YouTube chat. I will drop it again. Do I have it still? Yes, I do. I just dropped it in YouTube chat again. Join our Discord server. If you've got questions, if there's a cool outfit you saw on my screen, anything like that, feel free to reach out to me personally. My name is Mark on the Discord with a little MetaTailor tag at the end of that. So feel free to reach out on Discord, reach out with any questions that you may have. Discord is also where we announce our streams. We've announced the next 4 streams on there. Those 4 streams are announced on the YouTube channel as well. If you go to live, you can hit set reminders to follow us through all of these. Next week is MetaTailor 102, importing clothes, and I'm going to test importing them before. Unlike this jacket here, I thought it would be fun, easy, quick, but MetaTailor doesn't like this jacket, and that's okay. But next week, we're going to be importing clothes. I find whole outfits. We import the entire outfit. We can usually get through about 2 outfits a stream, so keep an eye out for that. That's next week. After that, we're importing avatars. I'm going to find some avatars to bring in, show you how to quick rig them in a website called Mixamo. That's a fantastic way to rig any avatar to have it work in MetaTailor. If you're not a rigger, if it didn't come with a rig, if it came with a rig that MetaTailor can't read, throwing it into Mixamo really quickly is kind of the secret sauce. That is how you can get it to work in MetaTailor and get any character you need in and out of MetaTailor with their outfits on properly and test it. And you don't need to keep that rig. You don't need to keep that rigged character. It is just to get the clothes on your character, and then you can do any noodling and finagling outside in another program like Unreal or Unity. So that is week 3 of MetaTailor University, MetaTailor 103. After that, the next 2 streams are plugin focused with Character Creator 4 and Unreal Engine plugins, showing you how those work. That's 104 and 105. So if you have any questions about the upcoming streams, anything like that, feel free to reach out. And then after that, we got to figure out what we're doing next. So it might be parametric clothing for metahumans or something along those lines. But like I said, I might try to take a look at that and see if that fits with any of the other themes that we have going on for this week. But otherwise, Cody will get that. We'll take a look at that, see if that's something we can answer for you. Cool. So, once again, join us on Discord. That's where all this is announced. But not only that, Discord sometimes has secret streams. When we have new features coming out, new stuff like that, we'll show it to our Discord crew first, and then we'll show it to the general public out here on YouTube Live. Well, everybody, we're at 10:15. I don't know if this jacket's going to finish in a timely manner. So, desktop. Oops, wrong one. Let me get this camera working a little bit faster. There we go. So once again, thank you all for joining us. First day of class done. I will see you next week as we import avatars. Have a good night, everybody. Go get dressed. I'll see you later.